Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 28th of May 2024. Now unfortunately guys, there is not much movement so far as the price of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market is concerned. As a matter of fact guys, the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum is marginally pumped up, but other than that, there is not much movement going on in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss this. Now look guys, in the world of Bitcoin ETF, Michael Saylor has actually posted via Twitter that 32 Bitcoin spot ETF now holds approximately 1 Nakamoto of BTC. So what I'll do guys in today's episode, I'll go ahead and discuss what is it that he's talking about. Because look guys, whether you like it or not, a lot of the millionaires, multi-billionaires and trillion-dollar companies, they are the ones who are benefited by spot Bitcoin ETF, isn't it? And along with them, early adopters and even cryptocurrency influencers has benefited by it. Now is that the definition of sound money? I really am not sure, to be honest. Now if you look at it from this perspective, Bitcoin does look like a Ponzi and scam, isn't it? But look guys, one thing which I often say, Satoshi Nakamoto could not solve human greed, game theory, and the limited supply of Bitcoin definitely does not help that, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and discuss what is it that Michael Saylor is tweeting about. Now in the world of cryptocurrency exchanges guys, OKX is one of the leading cryptocurrency exchanges in it. Unfortunately guys, there is a negative news, and they have decided to go ahead and withdraw the application in Hong Kong. And they have actually mentioned this via the blog, so I'll go ahead and give out more information regarding this news. Now in this particular blog guys, they have not given reason as to why they have gone ahead and withdrawn the application, so I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now look guys, one of the biggest events so far South America is concerned was when El Salvador made Bitcoin a legal tender, isn't it? Now this point of time guys, I really am not sure if the experiment was actually successful for El Salvadorians or even President Nayib Bukele, but the news essentially is that Argentina, they have gone ahead and sent their team to go and learn something from the El Salvadorian team regarding the implementation of Bitcoin for regular purchases and also going ahead and making Bitcoin a legal tender. So in today's episode, I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. But let me know guys, what are your thoughts are regarding El Salvador making Bitcoin a legal tender? Was it or is it a success story? Or do we need to look at it at a long-term horizon? Let me know your thoughts guys in the comment section below. Now towards the end guys, we do have some interesting news, and that has to do with Telegram services and Spear Lab guys, which is one of the blockchain developer. They are trying to introduce bank to wallet Telegram extension, so I'll definitely go ahead and give out some information regarding this news. So look guys, there's news such as this that should actually get more users getting into Web 3.0, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and share what this news is all about. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode, and like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys has to do with Metaverse, and to be honest guys, in 2024, this just might be the third news that I'm discussing regarding Metaverse, and unfortunately guys, at this point of time, I hate saying this, looks like Metaverse is dead, isn't it? But this particular company that I'm talking about called Savador, I might have covered them more than 10 times, maybe 15 times in my Metaverse Everything series. So essentially guys, the news is that Dubai Metaverse company, that is Savador, they have unveiled the new digital theater, so I'll go ahead and discuss what this news is all about. Now the second news guys is in the world of artificial intelligence, and two countries which I personally like guys, they are adopting artificial intelligence, and essentially the news is that Saudi and South Korea, they are discussing cooperation in artificial intelligence and smart cities. Now look guys, these two countries collaborating in the world of artificial intelligence will definitely be a very positive move, isn't it? And in Saudi Arabia guys, we have Vision 2030. Keeping that thing in mind, these developments will definitely benefit the economy of Saudi Arabia as well, and also the Middle East region, so I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. Let's kick start with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, since the last 24 hours, guys, unfortunately, the global cryptocurrency market has marginally gone down. Today, it is at $2.57 trillion. Yesterday, guys, I believe it was $2.58 trillion, isn't it? Now, since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.58%. Now, in a stark move, guys, the total cryptocurrency market volume has definitely increased. This just means one thing, guys, that a lot of selling is going on, isn't it? And since the last 24 hours, the transaction volume is up by 43.08%. And so far, the volume in terms of dollar amount, it is at $87.80 billion. Now, so far, the volume in DeFi is concerned, guys, it is marginally pumped up. Today, it is at $7.18 billion. But look, guys, these numbers for DeFi is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. Ideally, guys, in 2024, this number should have been in the $20 to $30 billion mark. But unfortunately, guys, I haven't seen the volume of DeFi crossing the $10 billion mark since probably 2022. Now, DeFi, guys, as of today, is accounting for 8.18% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is at $108.74 billion. Now, look, guys, I definitely want to go ahead and stress this point regarding total value locked. Once the trading of spot Ethereum actually kicks in, I wouldn't be surprised if the total value locked will actually go down, because all of the spot Ethereum ETF that has been approved, it does not involve staking rewards. So these are things you need to be factoring in as well. Because look, as if I'm an investor, rather than buying an Ethereum ETF, I would be more concerned in buying the actual Ethereum, isn't it? Because that way, if I were to, let's say, stake it, I would be entitled to some reward. Why buy the Ethereum ETF? Instead, I could actually go ahead and buy the actual Ethereum and then put it out for staking, isn't it? So these are things I'm pretty much sure investors will definitely be thinking about. So definitely keep an eye on the total value locked once the trading actually kicks in. Now, so far as the dominance of total value locked is concerned, guys, Lido still dominating with $35.58 billion. Now, decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, guys, this week has been high and it is at 29.88%. Now, I'm really curious to check, guys, where the transactions are actually taking place. Is it the centralized exchanges that are doing a lot of transactions, or is it regular individuals like you and me? I wouldn't be surprised, guys, that a lot of centralized exchanges are actually using decentralized exchanges, most likely to go out and buy a lot of Ethereum, isn't it? And that is because of the news regarding spot Ethereum ETF, in my opinion. Now, let me just do one thing, guys. Let me just quickly run through the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchanges, because Uniswap is at $2.30 billion. PancakeSwap, guys, is at number 2nd, and its volume is $597.32 million. The third one, guys, is Orca, and its volume is $574.81 million. Core Finance, guys, is at number 4th. Its volume is $366.88 million. And finally, Dora, guys, its volume is $177.06 million. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, keep a track on the volume of decentralized exchanges and then compare it with the volume of stable coins. And then you can also compare it with the 24-hour trading volume. And this would give you some idea in which direction the prices have moved, as well as in the future which direction it might be moving. Now, so far as the volume of stablecoins is concerned, it is at $81.53 billion. And since the last 24 hours, it is definitely pumped up, isn't it? So guys, look, this is how I'm reading the data. What this means is that people are going ahead and selling a lot of the Bitcoin or Ethereum, and they are converting them into stable coins. So let me know, guys, if you agree to my assessment. And because of that, guys, there is a possibility that in the next coming days, in the next coming weeks, the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum will be pumping up. Mostly the market is just waiting for some positive news, be it, let's say, in the world of trading of Ethereum spot ETF or any development in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now, so far as the volume of stable coins is concerned, guys, it is accounting for 91.86% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, it's needless to say, guys, that Tether is leading the packs of our stable coins is concerned, isn't it? And its volume is $67.76 billion, followed by FDUSD, guys, its volume is $7.01 billion. And finally, Circle USDC, its volume is $6.14 billion. Now, if you look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum, unfortunately, guys, all the numbers have actually gone down since the last 24 hours. Bitcoin's market cap is at $1.35 trillion, whereas Ethereum's market cap is at $463 billion. Now, look, guys, while I was preparing for this podcast, it might just be the very first time I wasn't able to find any news in the world of cryptocurrency. And it is so bizarre and strange to not see any news, because usually, guys, there are so many news and I have to filter out as to which news I need to go ahead and mention in my podcast. But since the last 24 hours, there was relatively less news than the previous days, or probably even months and years, to be honest. Now, so far as the 24-hour trading volume is concerned, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $27.33 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is at $18.92 billion. Now, look, guys, if the 24-hour trading volume has increased, and if the global cryptocurrency market has actually increased, you need to then compare it with the volume of stable coins. And if the prices have actually gone down, you'll be getting some idea in which direction the prices of cryptocurrency are heading towards, isn't it? Because look, guys, when the volume of stable coins increases, there is a very high possibility that people are parking their cryptocurrencies onto stable coins. And after a few days and after a few weeks, there is a possibility for the prices to pump up, in my opinion. Now, so far as the dominance is concerned, guys, Bitcoin's dominance is at 52.66% and Ethereum's dominance is at 18.01%. Now, this week, guys, what I'm doing is I'm reading out the top 5 decentralized apps that are working on different blockchain protocol. Yesterday, guys, we looked at Ethereum. Today, we'll be looking at Binance. Now, mind you, guys, I'm looking at these numbers via dappradar.com, and I'd really urge you to do it yourself as well, because some of the blockchain dApps, guys, the numbers are absolutely scary and ridiculous. You would be surprised that some of the dApps, their 24-hour trading volume is less than $30 as well. So do one thing, guys, go to dappradar.com, select relevant blockchain protocol, and then look at the dApps. Now, mind you, guys, I'm reading out only the fiat value of incoming token transfers from unique active wallets to decentralized app smart contract over a period of time. And then guys, you need to compare it with the different smart contracts that they actually have. And some of them guys are absolutely scary, as I mentioned earlier. Now so far as Binance is concerned, the numbers are definitely good but definitely not great. Particularly when you talk about decentralization of cryptocurrencies, it has been in existence for well over a decade, isn't it? Ideally guys, these numbers should have definitely been 5 times, maybe 10 times of what it is. But nonetheless guys, let me just read out the top 5 decentralized apps that are currently working on Binance BNB chain. Now the number one guys is PancakeSwap version 3 and the volume is $257.46 million. PancakeSwap version 2 guys is at number 2nd and its volume is $207.14 million. Venus Protocol guys is at number 3rd and the fiat value for incoming token transfers from unique active wallets to decentralized app smart contract over a period of time for Venus Protocol is $63.04 million. Move Stake guys is at number 4th and in terms of dollar amount it is $34.21 million. And finally guys, at number 5th is Listed DAO and its volume is $4 million. Now this week guys, what I'm doing is I'm covering an area of smart contractors in it, and in the episode that I released yesterday, I give out some basic level information regarding smart contracts. Now today guys, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and talk about smart contracts in the context of central bank digital currency. So what I'm going to be doing next is guys, I'm going to be talking about smart contracts in the world of central bank digital currency. Now look guys, central bank digital currencies are digital versions of countries' fiat currencies that are issued by the central bank, and as central bank digital currencies gain traction globally, integrating smart contracts that are self-executing contracts with the terms directly written into code offers numerous potential benefits, but at the same time they also pose several challenges. So let me go ahead and expand some of these points guys. Now just on a side note guys, every month I do tend to do a session on central bank digital currency. So if you do have any questions regarding CBDCs or central bank digital currency, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now let me do one thing guys, let me go ahead and give us some of the benefits of smart contracts in central bank digital currency. So I'd like to talk about it in the context of automation and efficiency. Secondly, enhanced security and transparency. The third one guys is conditional transactions. And fourthly guys, regarding financial inclusion. Now so far as automation and efficiency is concerned guys, smart contracts can automate a wide range of financial transactions and processes, thereby reducing the need for intermediaries such as banks, brokers and notaries, and this leads to lower transaction costs and faster processing times. For example guys, tax payments can be automatically deducted from transactions, and even social benefits can be directly deposited into recipients' digital wallets without manual intervention. Now look guys, Simon Dixon, one of the OGs in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space, he often says the central bank digital currency can be extremely useful in order to go ahead and issue helicopter money. Now helicopter money guys is something which was issued to countries during the whole COVID-19 era, isn't it? The government forced you to stay at home, and then they were kind of giving checks to people for doing absolutely nothing. But how that thing worked guys, those checks were sent out in physical mails, and it took a couple of months, even years to go ahead and receive those checks. But in case of CBDCs guys, with the implementation of smart contracts, this thing could be done in just a matter of few seconds and maybe a couple of minutes as well. But at the same time guys, you also need to understand taxation can be done automatically rather than filling out the form. And also guys, so far as automation and efficiency is concerned, automation minimizes the risk of human errors, thereby ensuring accurate and reliable transactions, isn't it? Now so far as the second point is concerned, that is enhanced security and transparency guys. Smart contracts, as we know, run on blockchain technology, which is inherently secure and tamper resistant, isn't it? And this ensures that once a contract is deployed, its terms cannot be altered. Now look guys, blockchain provides a transparent ledger for all transactions, which can be audited by absolutely anyone in the world, isn't it? But in the world of central bank digital currency guys, only authorized parties will be able to verify these transactions. Now this transparency guys, so far as CBDCs are concerned, can definitely raise some questions, isn't it? Now so far as immutability of blockchain records is concerned guys, the immutability of blockchain records ensures that transaction histories are permanent and cannot be changed retroactively, providing a robust audit trail. Now mind you guys, this is applicable only in open blockchain. In case of CBDC guys, the central bank can go ahead and do double spending. Now so far as the third point is concerned, that is conditional transaction guys. Smart contracts allow for conditional transactions where payments are executed only when specific criteria are met, isn't it? This can be particularly useful in scenarios, let's say like supply chain financing, where payments are made only after goods are delivered and verified. Now look guys, in case of CBDCs, you can actually pick up a call and go ahead and track where the transactions are as well. And let's say guys, if you're not happy with the service, you can go ahead and retract your funds as well. Now look guys, smart contracts also has escrow service functionality, and funds can be held in escrow by a smart contract and can be released when only both parties fulfill the obligations, thereby ensuring trust and reducing the risk of fraud. Now look guys, at a macro level, when you talk about CBDCs, it could be possible that the banks play the role where they go ahead and validate the transactions and go ahead and do any chargebacks. These are just some macro level points guys. Now so far as financial inclusion is concerned guys, smart contracts can reduce the need for traditional banking infrastructure, making financial services more accessible to the unbanked and underbanked population. Now look guys, with the help of WorldCoin, could it be possible that the government implements a physical device that is orb to go ahead and do some verification and then go ahead and issue CBDCs? That is definitely a possibility as well. Now also guys, with cryptocurrency and let's say CBDCs, you can go ahead and handle small transactions as well as in it, thereby making the transactions cost effective, and you can also support microfinance initiatives and maybe even peer-to-peer lending services, thereby promoting economic inclusion. Now let me go ahead and touch base on some of the use cases of smart contracts in the central bank digital realm guys, because governments can issue programmable CBDCs that can only be spent on specific items such as let's say welfare payments, and that can be restricted to essential goods and services, thereby ensuring that funds are used as intended. Now grants and subsidies guys can also be programmed to be released upon completion of certain milestones, thereby ensuring accountability. Now so far as cross-border transactions are concerned guys, smart contracts can automate compliance with international regulations, reducing the complexity and cost of cross-border transactions, and by eliminating intermediaries guys, smart contracts can expedite cross-border payments, providing near instantaneous settlement. Now look guys, you need to understand that there are different types of central bank digital currency. There is retail CBDCs, that is something which an average person will use on a day-to-day basis. Then you have wholesale CBDCs, which are kind of used by the bank in order to go ahead and settle any transactions. And then you have MCBDC, also called as multi-CBDC, that can be done across different countries. And guys, the UAE Central Bank, it is already working on MCBDC at the moment, and these are details guys I tend to explore when I do session regarding central bank digital currencies. Now so far as escrow services concerned guys, let's say in the real estate world, smart contracts can act as escrow agents, automatically releasing funds upon verification of property transfers and fulfillment of contractual terms, isn't it? The look guys, tokenization is definitely building up, and I do have this feeling guys, once CBDC kicks in, you can also issue security token offerings with that as well, isn't it? And for online purchases guys, smart contracts can ensure that payment is released only when the buyer receives and approves the goods. And could it be possible guys that the banks, they actually play the role of an intermediary? That could be a possibility. Now so far as taxation is concerned guys, taxes can be automatically deducted and submitted to tax authorities in real time during transactions, thereby reducing the administrative burden on business and ensuring timely tax collection. Now look guys, when I got introduced to cryptocurrencies, the very first area I tend to look at was taxation, and when I truly understand how blockchain technology worked, and at that point of time guys, I knew that there will be no need for audit because all the transactions will be in blockchain, isn't it? But in case of central bank digital currency guys, only the officials will be able to validate these transactions. Now could it be possible that these issuers, they got and release these documents in the form of statements that we receive? Most likely that is a possibility, isn't it? And look guys, automated tax transactions create a transparent auditable tax record, thereby reducing the potential for tax evasion and fraud, isn't it? But look guys, if you're someone who does not like to pay tax, I'm pretty much sure you'll definitely not be liking it, isn't it? And this is something which Simon Dixon was definitely talking about. He was also talking about that it could be possible that let's say if a person from India is doing some consultancy work to let's say in a country from UAE, he or she could be automatically charged once the transactions are taking place in CBDCs. Now whether you like it or not guys, this is your decision, but these are some of the positives as well as some of the dangers of CBDCs. Now next guys, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and touch base on some of the challenges and consideration keeping in mind smart contracts in the CBDC world. So there are 5 areas I want to touch base, that is regulatory and legal framework, security risks, privacy concerns, interoperability guys, and finally technological infrastructure. Now so far as regulatory and legal framework is concerned, it's really important to understand guys that establishing a legal framework that recognizes and enforces smart contract is crucial. This includes defining legal status of smart contract and addressing issues of liability and dispute resolutions, the regulatory bodies, guys, need to develop standards and guidelines for the creation, execution, and auditing of smart contracts, and they need to do that to ensure that they meet legal and compliance requirements. Now, look, as when the transactions are taking place only within a country, then it is fine. But what happens if the transactions are MCBDCs or multiple CBDC? That is an area that need to be worked on, isn't it? Now, with BRICS coming up, guys, I really do feel that they could create a CBDC that works only among those countries, isn't it? Now, so far as the second point is concerned, that is security risk. Look, guys, smart contracts, while secure, can have vulnerabilities in the code that may be exploited by malicious actors. Now, continuous security audits and rigorous testings are essential to go ahead and mitigate this risk. Now, look, guys, one of the dangers of CBDCs are that it can be double spent, because there is a centralized entity responsible for CBDC, isn't it? And one of the biggest innovations of Satoshi Nakamoto was he solved the double spending problem. But in case of CBDC, guys, double spending will 100% occur. Now, apart from that, guys, there are also hacking risk as well. Even with strong security measures, guys, the risk of hacking and cyber attack remains at large, thereby necessitating robust security protocols. Now, the third point, guys, is regarding privacy concerns. Now, look, as blockchain technology is transparent and is beneficial, but it does raise concerns about privacy of financial transactions. But there's an alternative so far as blockchain technology is concerned. You have things like zero-knowledge proof and privacy-preserving technologies. But one of the biggest drawbacks, guys, with blockchain technology is that it does become really expensive to go ahead and use zero-knowledge proof. But hear me out, guys, in case of CBDCs, what a central bank can do is they can go ahead and implement zero-knowledge proof. And listen to this, guys. Whatever the cost is associated with that, they could just delete it from the system, and they could say that this automatically needs to be deleted. That this particular decision, guys, could be done by the central bank rather than politicians. Now, look, guys, by doing that, zero knowledge proof will be ensured. Those are my honest thoughts. Now, the next podcast is regarding interoperability. Now, look, guys, we need to understand that when we talk about interoperability, it needs to be interoperable with open blockchain as well as with so-called permission blockchain, and ensuring interoperability between different CBDCs as well as blockchain protocol, guys, and also with existing financial systems is vital for widespread adoption for smart contracts. And that is one of the reasons, guys, we need to go ahead and develop a couple of standards, isn't it? And once we have standardization in place, guys, it will enable seamless interaction between various platforms and technologies. So a CBDC will be able to have smart contract, let's say with Ethereum or maybe with other blockchain protocol. Now, it's really important to understand, guys, that developing global standards for smart contracts and CBDCs can facilitate international trade and finance, thereby promoting global economic integration. Now, the last point, guys, is technological infrastructure. Now, look, as implementing smart contracts with CBDCs require a sophisticated technological infrastructure, including robust blockchain platforms that are capable of handling high transaction volumes. Or you can also use, let's say, something like Hedera Hashgraph or even IOTA that does not use blockchain technology. Rather, they use a completely different protocol. Now, when you talk about technological infrastructure, guys, we also need to think about digital identity system. And secure and reliable digital identity system, guys, are absolutely necessary to authenticate users and prevent fraud, thereby ensuring the integrity of smart contract transactions. That, look, as one of the challenge with blockchain technology is the issue of TPS, that is transaction per second, isn't it? And it's so critical that we truly understand, guys, the blockchain trilemma problem. Unfortunately, guys, in the CBDC world, the blockchain trilemma problem will not fit in, and we do have to heavily compromise on centralization. So the infrastructure, guys, in CBDCs will be able to scale to handle increased transaction load as CBDC adoption grows. Now, look, guys, it's going to be really interesting to see how CBDCs evolve, because as I mentioned, guys, in the past in my Crypto and Coffee at 8 series, politicians are definitely not in favor of CBDCs, and rightly so as well, because that is exactly why Bitcoin was created, isn't it? Now, look, guys, so far smart contracts and CBDCs are concerned, guys, the integration of smart contracts with CBDCs has the potential to revolutionize financial systems by ensuring efficiency, security, and even inclusivity. However, realizing this potential requires addressing several technological, legal, and regulatory challenges. And as central banks and governments explore the adoption of CBDCs, what I think, guys, is that the thoughtful incorporation of smart contracts will be crucial in shaping the future of digital finance, driving innovation, and promoting economic growth. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding smart contracts or CBDCs? Are you in favor of it, or do you prefer to have smart contracts in Ethereum or blockchain world? Me personally, guys, I'll try to choose the later, but let's say in the world of metaverse, I would prefer to use CBDCs in comparison to, let's say, cryptocurrencies. So let me know, guys, what your thoughts are regarding CBDCs in general as well. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, I tend to do a session on central bank digital currency every month where we go and explore the use case of CBDCs. We also go and discuss some of the benefits of CBDCs and what will be the future of stable coins once CBDC goes mainstream. Now, guys, since you've taken care of smart contracts and CBDCs, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Now, the price of Bitcoin, guys, has marginally gone down by 0.56%, and it is at $68,652. And since the last 7 days, guys, it is down by 3.66%. Ethereum, guys, is at $3,862. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.11%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 5.08%. Binance BNB Coin, guys, is at $602. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.50%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 0.86%. Now look, guys, one of the biggest events that did get approved earlier this year was that of spot Bitcoin ETF, isn't it? And Michael Saylor, one of the biggest advocates of Bitcoin, he posted some really interesting numbers, guys, via Twitter or X. What he actually stated, guys, is that 32 Bitcoin spot ETF now holds 1 Nakamoto of BTC. Now this particular information, guys, has been verified by the people as well, and the information is spot on. So let me do one thing, guys. Let me read out some of the ETF issuers, how many Bitcoins they have. Because look, BlackRock and Grayscale itself, guys, they have almost $70 billion worth of Bitcoin. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, guys, they have 289,040 Bitcoin, whereas BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, guys, they have 287,168 Bitcoin. Fidelity's Origin Bitcoin Trust, guys, they have 161,538 Bitcoin, whereas ARK21 Shares, their Bitcoin ETF, guys, has 48,444 Bitcoin. Bitwise Bitcoin ETF, they have 36,185 Bitcoin. And finally, guys, Canada's Purpose Bitcoin ETF, they have 27,110 Bitcoin. Now look, guys, there are two ways of looking at it. You can see that these millionaires and multi-billionaires and trillion-dollar companies, they have a lot of Bitcoin. Unfortunately, guys, did Satoshi Nakamoto create Bitcoin for millionaires, billionaires, or trillion-dollar companies? I don't think so. So according to me, guys, these accumulation of Bitcoin among millionaires, celebrities, influencers, and early adopters takes away the core principle as to why Bitcoin was created. Bitcoin, guys, was created as a moment to a separation of money and the state, isn't it? Unfortunately, guys, the role of the state has been replaced by companies like Grayscale, BlackRock in particular, guys. BlackRock can do whatever they want. They can buy the entire supply of Bitcoin as well, in my opinion, guys. They have so much of power. Now look, Bitcoin maximalists such as Michael Saylor might go ahead and portray it as a positive news, because now what they will say is that so many huge companies have Bitcoin and the future of Bitcoin looks extremely bright. Now you need to understand, guys, the only reason why they are saying this is they want to go ahead and create the demand for Bitcoin, because once they create the demand for Bitcoin, guys, people like you and me will go ahead and buy more Bitcoin, isn't it? And in doing so, the price of Bitcoin will increase, and the multi-millionaires, billionaires, and trillion-dollar companies, their existing net worth in Bitcoin will increase, in my opinion. So let me know, guys, if you take it as a bullish sign, or are you upset that millionaires, billionaires, and trillion-dollar companies are getting more richer? Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comment section below. Now, guys, let's discuss some news all the way from Argentina. And Argentina officials, guys, from National Security Commission, that is CNV, they met with representatives from El Salvador's National Commission for Digital Assets, also called as CNAD, and they went in and discussed Bitcoin's adoption and regulation. Now look, guys, the Argentina's delegation, which was actually led by CNV President Roberto Silva and Vice President Patricia Bordo, sought to leverage El Salvador's experience with Bitcoin, which is a legal tender in the country, isn't it? Now, Silva, guys, emphasized the value of El Salvador's expertise in cryptocurrency regulation, noting the specific commission for digital assets, and Beidou, guys, highlighted the importance of strengthening ties with El Salvador, given its pioneering role in cryptocurrency space. Now, President Juan Carlos Reyes, guys, has acknowledged Argentina's efforts in digital asset technology and their aim to create regulations. Now, this meeting, guys, was followed by Beidou's earlier visit to El Salvador in March for a similar discussion. Now, look, guys, do you think it is a great idea to learn from the success story of El Salvador? But the big question, guys, is was it actually a successful story? I really am not sure, to be honest, guys, Cause President Nayib Bukele could have invested the funds into Bitcoin, probably into artificial intelligence or something else, and by doing that the country would have probably benefited more. Now you need to understand, guys, that when President Nayib Bukele made Bitcoin a legal tender, his whole idea was to take care of remuneration, isn't it? Now so far as the remuneration is concerned, guys, that was done by Chivo Wallet, and you still need to do quite a lot of KYC, and roughly around 2 months ago, guys, all of people's KYC information was leaked as well, isn't it? Now there are talks and conspiracies, guys, that those KYCs were leaked by a political opposition party. So let's see, guys, if this move by Argentina turns out to be fruitful. Now look, guys, some of the Bitcoin maximalists and some of the OGs in the space, they definitely did not like the idea that Bitcoin was made a legal tender. And let's talk Bitcoin, guys. One of the OGs of Bitcoin in the space, their podcast has stopped right now, but I very specifically remember they were actually questioning as to why it was made legal tender. And one of the hosts, that is Jonathan Mohan, he definitely interviewed quite a lot of people from El Salvador, including some people from press, and even Andres Antonopoulos, guys, who was one of the co-hosts. He was definitely not too enthusiastic and positive regarding Bitcoin being made a legal tender. But look, guys, Argentina has a new president, and he's absolutely spot on. Maybe he could learn some of the negatives and drawbacks of implementing Bitcoin in the country and try to come up with new idea. So let's see what is it that they go ahead and implement. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding OKX in Hong Kong, and they have decided to withdraw its virtual asset service provider license application in Hong Kong and will cease centralized virtual asset trading services for Hong Kong residents by 31st of May this year. Now, it's really important to note, guys, that customer funds are safe and withdrawal services will continue uninterrupted, and after 31st of May of this year, guys, only withdrawals will be possible. Now, it's really important to note, guys, regarding this news, the OKX Web3 service remains unaffected. Now, deposits made after the 31st may not be credited automatically, and open orders that are not closed by 31st of May will be cancelled and the funds will be transferred to OKX account balances. Now, if you're someone who's a customer using OKX in Hong Kong, guys, you need to understand that you can withdraw your assets until the 31st of August 2024, after which direct withdrawals or transfers will not be possible, and remaining balances after this date will be treated as unclaimed property according to OKX's terms of use. So look, guys, I really am not sure why they went ahead and decided to withdraw the application. Let's see, guys, if there's some drama going on in the world of Twitter regarding this. Now, guys, let's discuss some news in the world of Telegram. Now, look, guys, Telegram boasts an impressive 800 million monthly active users, isn't it? With more than 52 million people using the platform daily. Now, keeping that thing in mind, guys, Spear Labs, which is a blockchain developer company, they have introduced a bank-to-wallet Telegram extension, and they will enable users to transfer funds between bank accounts and wallets within the Telegram app. Now, the service fee for that, guys, is only 0.1%. Now, the service fee, guys, offers a 0.1% fee per transaction for all the users and is set to launch fully later this year. Now, they've already begun testing this, guys, on the 27th of this month, that is yesterday. Now, look, guys, users from non-sanctioned countries can utilize extension, but they need to link it with USD or Euro-denominated bank accounts. Now, look, guys, Telegram has been making quite a lot of news, isn't it? And Tucker Carlson, guys, one of the leading interviewers of all time, he did actually interview the CEO of Telegram, and he did the interview in Dubai. So what I definitely recommend you to do is go to YouTube and look at Tucker Carlson Network, and his interview is definitely a brilliant one in my opinion. Now, these were the newscasts on the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now, after a very long time, guys, I'm talking about the news regarding Metaverse. So the first news is that Dubai-based Metaverse company, that is Savador, they have unveiled the new digital theater. So let me go ahead and discuss this news, guys, because the digital theater is the latest expansion of Savador's Metaverse experience, and they aim to usher in a new era of accessible digital creation of digital pioneers, and this follows the release of Savador's Space Metaverse as a service creator tool. And Space's tool, guys, allows digital creators to create personalized, interactive Metaverse spots, and the Metaverse theater, guys, explores longer visual experiences for larger audience. And the World Economic Forum report, guys, states that in India itself there is a market opportunity of $10 billion, and this is due to Metaverse, whereas in the Middle East, the Metaverse could contribute to $15 billion to GCC economies, and that could happen by 2030. And Avadom's Metaverse Theater, guys, prepares for this future economic opportunity, and it features a large cinema-type screen for interactive live events, films and music shows as well, and it accommodates just 100 people with lower level and balcony seating, and the stage area below the screen for presenters to interact with audience. So look, guys, how this should ideally work is, let's say you go ahead and put up your Metaverse headset. let's say your Apple Vision headset or the HTC device or even the Meta Quest 3, and then it would actually give you a feeling as though you're actually sitting in the theater itself. That is the only use case, I think. Now, interaction is key, guys, and it will allow free movement and interaction among audience members. Now, the CEO, that is Jeremy Lopez, has highlighted the potential of Metaverse to transform content creation and engagement and immersive computing. The Metaverse and AI definitely going to converge to empower new content creators, isn't it? And it will be a new medium for content, thereby enabling direct interaction inside various medias. An alpha theater release features Savador's content on the Metaverse and Martian digital city developments as well, and future releases will allow partners and brands to showcase the audio-visual content. Now look, guys, I really am hoping that this user experience is 10 times better than what we are currently experiencing, or else, guys, it's going to be a recipe for disaster, isn't it? So let's see, guys, if this thing is live, and we might have to use a specific headset, isn't it? Only time will tell, guys, if this is a success or not. Now, truth be told, guys, I've stopped releasing the Metaverse Everything podcast that I used to do it every Fridays, and the reason is pretty simple. There's absolutely no news or development in the Metaverse world. So let's see, guys, if there's some resurgence in the Metaverse arena. Now, guys, let's discuss second news, and this is to do with artificial intelligence. In Saudi Arabia and South Korea, they are discussing cooperation on artificial intelligence and smart cities. So let me go ahead and break down this news, guys. Because Dr. Abdullah Al-Kamdi, the chairman of Saudi Authority for Data and Artificial Intelligence, met with Sungwoo Park, who's the South Korean Minister of Land Infrastructure and Transport, and their meeting focused on cooperation between Saudi Arabia and South Korea in the realm of artificial intelligence and smart cities. And the discussion highlighted the significance of smart contract city models on an international scale, and the emphasis was placed on aligning the vision of both nations to further smart city initiatives and Saudi data for artificial intelligence, guys. They showcase Saudi Arabia's advancement in smart city technology, and Saudi Arabia's collaboration and various government agencies was highlighted as well. And 5 Saudi cities, guys, are propelled into the top ranks of IDM Smart City Index for 2024, and the meeting, guys, covered various initiatives from Korean Ministry of Land and Infrastructure. Now listen, guys, the Korean initiative could support smart city projects in Saudi Arabia, and both nations see fertile ground for future collaboration in AI and smart city sectors, and the cooperation aims to leverage cutting-edge technologies for smart city development, and the discussions include aligning strategic vision for smart city advancement, and Saudi Arabia's progress, guys, in smart cities was a focal point of the discussion, and potential areas of collaboration between Saudi and South Korea were explored. And this meeting, guys, aimed to foster international partnership for smart city projects, and advancing smart city models globally was deemed a significant objective, and both nations expressed a commitment to furthering technological cooperation. And the meeting, guys, underscored the importance of initiative solutions in the urban development. So definitely positive news. So these were the news, guys, from cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world, from Crypto and Coffee Date, from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, guys, there's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Carly who asked, do you think there are a couple of dangers that a lot of the billionaires will go and dump a lot of the cryptocurrencies and tokens? Now that is a very, very interesting question. Now look, Carly, me personally, I'm not a fan of Michael Saylor, and the answer to that is pretty simple. He does own quite a lot of Bitcoin, but more importantly, the company that he is associated with, that is MicroStrategy, they have got heavy investment from BlackRock. Now look, BlackRock has heavy investment in Circle USDC, and they also have some investment in Coinbase as well. Now what if Larry Fink and BlackRock, they go and decide that they want to go and start something completely different, maybe a completely new token, and they want to go and dominate that? They can easily acquire a lot of Bitcoin, and then they can go and dump it, isn't it? Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, Carly, and even to our listeners, go to BlackRock's website and just read through Larry Fink's letter. Now his letter is extremely powerful. Now look, what I'm saying is just in theory, or really I'm not sure in reality if that thing could actually happen. But look, in the cryptocurrency world, absolutely anything is possible, isn't it? So in a crazy world, Larry Fink could turn out to be the Thanos, and what he actually can do is he can, let's say, go out and acquire quite a lot more Bitcoin, and then just go ahead and dump it. Or worse, let's say if he wants to go ahead and completely destroy Bitcoin, he can go ahead and transfer all of those Bitcoin into a public address that does not have a private key, or he can just completely destroy his private key. In that case, all of the Bitcoin does completely go to zero, isn't it? Now mind you, Carly, I'm talking about some real wild speculations, isn't it? This could actually be created into a movie, and how Bitcoin did actually go ahead and end, and that is definitely a possibility as well. But look, Larry Fink, in one of the interviews with CNBC, did actually state that the futurist tokenization, and apart from that, Frankel Templeton, CEO, she was a massive advocate of blockchain technology, and in one of the interviews she did actually state that in case if there is a war, digital assets such as Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies could actually potentially be a safe haven. Now look, what I'm really not liking is a lot of the billionaires, trillion-dollar companies, they are the ones who are giving advice. Now I'm not saying that the advice is absolutely bad. Because they are successful, the advice does make perfect sense, but I'm talking this in context on why Bitcoin was created. Now I definitely appreciate that they are saying it, and them making these statements does have a lot of value to it, because they have been successful in the fields, isn't it? And they definitely have the right to go ahead and acquire and do whatever they want. I'm talking this in the context of why Bitcoin was created, because look, Satoshi Nakamoto did actually see what happened in 2008, that is the collapse of Lehman Brothers, and what the world did actually go through during recession, isn't it? And that was one of the reasons why he went ahead and created the so-called people's money. But look right now, so far as Bitcoin and even Ethereum, and who's to say even Dogecoin or Solana, these will be cryptocurrencies that are completely managed by multi-billionaires, celebrity influencers and early adopters. Now Elon Musk, he did actually put out a tweet roughly around a year ago, and he asked people, who would you rather trust? Would you trust politicians, or do you trust billionaires and trillion-dollar companies? And a lot of them, including me, did actually state billionaires and trillion-dollar companies, but the context that he was talking about is completely different. Now, I do appreciate the fact that Larry Fink and billion-dollar companies, they want to get into the cryptocurrency world, but I'm talking about going back to why Bitcoin was created. Bitcoin was created as a movement to a separation of money and the state, isn't it, Carly? When will that thing happen? I really am not sure. Because you also need to understand that the role of the state has been replaced by social media giants and billion-dollar companies like BlackRock, Vanguard, and even Franklin Templeton, and even MicroStrategy to a certain extent. Those are my honest opinion. Definitely an interesting and tricky question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case you guys have any feedback or suggestion, mention them in the comments below. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, please feel free to go and check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. It is packed with loads of useful information in the world of central bank digital currency, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and even metaverse. And remember guys, Monday to Thursdays we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the path of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and the Middle East, from cryptocurrency, blockchain and now artificial intelligence world. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.